Groovy English Podcast.
Hey there! Welcome back to Groovy English. I'm Chloe.
And I'm Aiden. We share real stories, useful tips, and everyday English to help you grow with confidence.
Wherever you are in your English learning journey, we're glad you're here.
If you're enjoying the podcast, feel free to like, subscribe, or share it with a friend.
Let's get started.
Hi everyone. You're listening to Groovy English, the podcast that helps you fall in love with English one story, one tip, and one smile at a time. I'm your host, Olivia, and today I'm going to share something personal, how I fell in love with English. This story isn't just about language. It's about discovery, frustration, joy, and the unexpected ways English has changed my life. So grab a cup of tea, take a walk, or just sit back and relax. Let's go on a journey together. First, I want to start with the early days when English was a stranger. When I was a kid, English felt foreign, literally and emotionally. It was something in my textbooks, in strange songs on the radio, or in subtitles on movies I didn't understand. We had to memorize vocabulary lists, fill in the blanks with the right verb tense, and read stories about people with names like Jack and Mary, who had nothing to do with my life. It wasn't love at first sight. If anything, English felt like homework. Something I had to do, not something I wanted to learn. And maybe that's how you feel too sometimes. That English is a task, not a passion. I want to tell you that's okay. That's how I started too. Then the turning point. A song, a feeling. Everything changed the day I heard a song. It was by a band I didn't know, playing on the radio at a friend's house. I couldn't understand all the words, but the melody, the emotion, it hit me. So I went home, typed the lyrics into Google, and read along while listening again. That night, I listened to the song 10 times, then 20, then 30. I didn't even realize it, but I was learning. Phrases stuck in my head. Words that were just in my textbook the week before suddenly meant something. Let it go. Hold on. In the end, these weren't grammar points. They were feelings. That was the first spark. The moment English became something personal. After that, I couldn't stop. I printed lyrics and sang along. I watched music videos with subtitles. I wrote English phrases in my notebook like they were poems. Then I started watching movies with English subtitles. First in my language with English subtitles. Then the other way around. And guess what? I started to recognize the same phrases in different places. Are you kidding me? Come on. You've got this. They weren't in my textbooks, but they were everywhere in real life. I wasn't just learning English anymore. I was living it. I still remember my first real conversation in English. It was with a tourist at a train station. She looked lost, and I thought, "Okay, Olivia, here's your moment." I took a deep breath and said, "Can I help you?" She smiled. I smiled. And then she started talking so fast I didn't catch a word. I panicked. I froze. And I said, "Sorry, I don't English." Yup. Not, I don't speak English. Just, I don't English. But you know what? She laughed. Not in a mean way, just kindly. And she said, "It's okay. Thank you." And that moment changed everything. because I realized it's okay to make mistakes. English doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful. From that day on, I started noticing the little things. I learned to love the little things, like how good it felt to understand one full sentence in a movie without reading subtitles, or how exciting it was to say something in English and have someone understand me right away. Those little wins? They made me fall in love with the language. It wasn't about mastering grammar. It was about connecting, about seeing the world open up, one word at a time. I used to think of English as a school subject. Then I realized it's more like a friend. Yes, English became my friend. A friend who opens doors. Because of English, I've made friends from different countries. I've read books I never would have found in translation. I've traveled, interviewed for jobs, and even started this podcast all in English. It's not just a skill. It's part of who I am now. And the best part? I'm still learning. Every day. That's what keeps the relationship alive. Now, maybe your story is different. Maybe you're just starting. Maybe you've studied for years, but still don't feel confident. Maybe you've fallen in love with English and fallen out of love again. That's okay. Falling in love with English doesn't happen overnight. It happens in small, messy, beautiful moments. Maybe through a TV show you love, or a book that makes you cry, or that first time someone says, "Wow, your English is great." So here's my advice. Make it personal. Find what excites you. Make it fun. English should never be just punishment. Make it yours. Speak with your accent. Use your stories. Be you. Sometimes, I think back to the very first English sentence I ever spoke with confidence. It wasn't anything fancy. It was something simple like, "I like chocolate." But the pride I felt in saying it clearly and being understood, that feeling is unforgettable. It was like unlocking a tiny piece of a huge, exciting world. And I wanted more. Over time, English became more than just a subject or a skill. It became a part of who I am. I started thinking in English, dreaming in English. I even had moments where I couldn't remember the word in my native language, but could say it in English. That was weird at first, but it also made me realize how deeply I'd fallen for this language. I also began to see how powerful English could be as a bridge between cultures. I've made friends from different countries simply because we both knew English. We may have grown up in completely different places, but suddenly we could talk about our favorite movies, share travel stories, even talk about life and dreams, all because we had a shared language. That's something I'll always be grateful for. Another surprising benefit of learning English was how it improved my confidence. Before, I was always nervous about speaking up, even in my own language. But pushing myself to speak in English, even when I made mistakes, taught me to be brave. I realized that people don't care if you're perfect. They care if you're real, if you're trying. That lesson stayed with me in other areas of life too. And let's not forget about humor. I started to understand English jokes, memes, and sarcasm. It took a while, especially with things like wordplay and idioms, but it became so satisfying when I finally got it. Language isn't just rules, it's rhythm, tone, and play. And English is full of that. Of course, the journey hasn't been all smooth. There were days I felt stuck or frustrated that I couldn't express myself fully. but every plateau passed. I just had to keep going, keep listening, keep speaking. It's like any relationship, you fall in love, but you also have to work at it. And now I see English as a lifelong companion. We've grown together. It still challenges me. It still surprises me. But more than anything, it has opened doors, sparked creativity, and helped me connect with the world. Another thing that made me love English even more was the freedom I felt when writing in it. Writing essays, journal entries, even short stories in English gave me a new voice. It was almost like discovering another version of myself, one that could express ideas differently, sometimes more boldly, sometimes more playfully. I started to enjoy the challenge of finding just the right word to capture a feeling. I also loved how flexible the English language is. You can bend it, break it, and still be understood. Native speakers create new slang all the time, and the language constantly evolves. That gave me permission to relax and not worry so much about being perfect. I realized that even native speakers don't always follow every grammar rule, and that made me feel more confident experimenting and having fun with it. Watching interviews with actors, musicians, and creators in English helped me feel connected to people I admired. I could hear their real voices, not just dubbed versions. It felt more personal. Understanding their words in their own language made me feel like I was getting closer to them, like I was part of a global conversation. I also started to notice how English was everywhere, from signs and menus when traveling to instructions for apps and tech tools. Being able to understand those things made life so much easier. But more importantly, it reminded me that English wasn't just a school subject, it was a real-world tool that could help me navigate new experiences and feel more independent. And perhaps the most beautiful thing is this: English helped me find my community. Whether through online forums, language exchange partners, or podcast listeners like you, I've met people who are also passionate about learning and sharing. That sense of connection, the feeling that we're all learning together, is one of the biggest reasons I'm still in love with English today. So that's my story, how I fell in love with English. It didn't happen overnight. It wasn't something I planned. It grew slowly, like a quiet friendship that suddenly became something deeper. It was unexpected, sometimes frustrating, but always real. And now I honestly can't imagine my life without it. If you're listening to this, I want you to know your journey with English is just as valid, just as meaningful. Whether you're just starting out or have been learning for years, the ups and downs are all part of it. I hope my story encourages you to keep going, not for perfect grammar or flawless pronunciation, but for something much more important. Keep going to connect, not just to impress. Let go of the pressure to get every word right. Instead, lean into the joy of expressing yourself, even if it's messy. Laugh at your mistakes. Learn from them. Celebrate the small wins, like the first time you understood a movie without subtitles, or the first time someone smiled because they understood you. And remember, every word you learn is a step closer to someone new, someone you might help, befriend, or learn from. Every sentence you speak is a window into another world, another culture, another way of thinking. And every mistake you make? That's not failure. That's growth. That's progress. That's you doing the work. So please don't stop. Keep listening. Keep speaking. Keep dreaming in English. Your English story is still being written, and it's already amazing. And one day, maybe you'll share your story, just like I did. I can't wait to hear it. Thanks for spending time with me today on Groovy English. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend who's also learning English. And if you want more tips, stories, and fun English vibes, leave us comments below to let us know. I'm Olivia. And remember, English isn't just something you learn. It's something you live.
Your English is shining brighter by the minute. Hit that next video to keep leveling up your skills. Or dive into our other episodes for more secrets to talk like a pro. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to join the Groovy English crew.